Would you like to be able to automatically place newly provisioned or cloned database servers into Prism Central categories that enforce network security policies? Well, with the Nutanix database service and intelligent operations, you can. Welcome to Tech Bytes. My name is David Teague, Technical Marketing Engineer. In a previous video, we set up a security policy in Flow Network Security using Prism Central categories. Now we're going to create a process to streamline adding database servers to that security policy. If you have not seen the previous video, it will be linked in the description, so let's jump in. We will get started in the Prism Central console. We're going to go to the drop-down menu, choose Intelligent Operations, and then select Playbooks. Nutanix Intelligent Operations is part of the NCM Starter, Pro, and Ultimate license tiers with different access levels. You also have access 90 days after you install Prism Central. We are going to import a custom playbook. This playbook and the scripts used in this video are based on scripts that were pulled from the Nutanix.dev site. However, they are not supported by Nutanix. There is already an action that exists to change the category of a VM. However, you need to know the UUID of the VM. This custom playbook will discover the UUID for us. We are going to import the playbook by clicking on Import. Once it's imported, we're then going to select Actions and Update. On the first screen, we're going to copy the webhook ID from the webhook section of the playbook. We're going to fix the validation errors by selecting the first REST API section on the left menu and setting the username and password that can run this action, and then we're going to do the same on the second REST API section. After we set your username and password on the second REST API section, we're going to need to click into the request body section and change the webhook ID to the one that we copied earlier. Then we're going to click down to the Add Category section and choose the category we will use. We're going to use the App Family Database categories from the security policy created in our earlier video. If you watched my previous video on using Nutanix Flow to limit access to your database servers, this category has a Flow security policy tied to it. You can watch that video by clicking the link in the description. After you've selected the category, click on Save and Close. You will continue to see the highlighted validation issues until we have saved the changes. On the next screen, change the playbook status to Enable, then click Save. This takes us back to the dashboard screen, and you can see the status change to Enabled as the validation errors are fixed. Now let's take a look at the scripts NDB will call to execute the automation playbooks. NDB can call these scripts when provisioning a new server or cloning an existing one. For Windows, NDB will use PowerShell, and for the Linux-based database engines that NDB supports, it will use Python. For both of the update category VM scripts, there are variables, so you will need to specify the username, password, Prism Central address, and webhook ID at the top of the script for them to work correctly. Once we have made our changes to the script and saved them, let's head over to NDB and see how we use them. Once this is done, go into NDB, and in the drop-down menu, select Profiles and then click Software. From here, we're going to create a new software profile by clicking on Create, then selecting the server where the script has been placed. I have placed the path of the script in the notes for reference. First, you'll need to copy the script to an existing server that is managed by NDB. Once the profile is created, you will need to publish it so it can be used by other NDB users. You could do this by selecting the profile, then choosing Update. You would then choose Published. When you click Next, you can see the saved comment about the script from earlier. With the new software profile created and published, we can use it to provision a new server. Cloning also provides the options to run scripts, so you can use this process for clones as long as the script is on the source server. We're going to use SQL Server in our example, however this process would be similar for all of the Linux-based databases. From the drop-down menu, select Databases, then Sources. We're then going to choose Provision SQL Server Database. On the first provisioning screen, we're going to give our server a name, phx-sql22-wp01. We will then choose our clusters and the SQL22 secure software profile, as that is the one that we created that has the script on it. We will complete this page by selecting our compute, network profiles, set the server admin password, and then select the DB instance parameter profile. We will then choose Next. On the next screen, we will select a name for our database and select the DB parameter profile. Then we will click the pre and post command dropdown and put the path to our script on the post create command that will set the categories in Prism Central. From here, we will finish up by selecting Next, then selecting an SLA. We can set up patching on this screen if we like, and then when we're done, we'll click Provisioning to start provisioning. While the database is provisioning, let's take a look at the security policy I created in Prism Central in the previous video. From the drop-down menu, we're going to go to Network and Security, and then to Security Policies, and then Policy Type Application. We're going to choose our database application policy on the next screen. And then we're going to see that there are only 2 VMs in the app type database category. When provisioning is complete, we should see the new database server in this category as well. Back in NDB, it looks like provisioning took about 35 minutes and was successful. You can see the steps NDB takes to provision the database servers, including executing the post-create script. If we switch back to Intelligent Operations in Prism Central, in the Playbook section, if you click on the playbook and choose Plays at the top, you can see if the play ran successfully. This is also a good place to troubleshoot if the playbook is not running properly. Now if we head back over to Flow Network Security Policies, and we select the database security policy which uses the category we chose in our playbook, you can see that that server we specified during provisioning has been successfully added to the category, which means this security policy will be applied to this server. So that wraps up using NDB with Intelligent Operation Playbooks. By putting in some effort beforehand, you can utilize playbooks and the post-install script feature in NDB to ensure consistency across your database environments. This consistency is crucial for environments that must adhere to security and compliance policies, and it can save you some valuable time. This is just one of the many ways NDB can interact with other Nutanix products. Click subscribe so you don't miss out on any other videos on this topic, and to learn more about NDB, click on the NDB playlist below.